Hey fellow gamers, how's it going? Yes, it's another one of my new pickup videos, as you can probably tell from looking at the top of this video box. I've managed to get a good few things for the past couple of weeks, and one of the good things today is I've actually managed to find my old man. It's definitely, as you can see, it's been a hell of a few weeks to finally be able to come in contact with him, but all in all, it's actually been a pretty fun to see him again, and no doubt he's watching this now. So yeah, it's been great seeing you again, Dad, and it'll be good seeing you again in the future. But for the gamers, I'll show you some of the things that I've got, and then we'll work our way up to the bigger things. Okay. Now, the first thing I've managed to get, which for the PlayStation 3 is known as Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Now, I've always been a major Castlevania fan, and I had played this when on its first release. I had a bit of mixed opinions about it, to be honest. It does say Castlevania, but it didn't totally feel like the originals. It didn't give you that complete Castlevania feel. I mean, it did have its typical gothic backgrounds, its sort of character style, you know. And what makes it good though is also the music, and what was good as well was the narration for when you're on the loading screens. It was done by Patrick Stewart, which, if you don't know who he is, I mostly remember him as the bald's lead commander or something from Star Trek. That's the only other way I remember him from, and I believe he was, do you call him Dr. Xavier from X-Men? Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, he was the narrator in this, and it was pretty cool to hear him like that. Next one on the list for the PSP, which is, I don't have a PSP anymore, as I've mentioned, but I do plan on getting another one in the future, hopefully. But during the meantime, these ones I've had a while back beforehand, but as I always say, when I don't have enough videos, if I don't have enough games, there's no reason to do a video because it would be too short, and I doubt anyone would really watch it if it's that short. But I've managed to get this a good amount of halt this time. So for the PSP, I've managed to get Star Ocean: The First Departure. It was only about £3 in my local game store in Kingsgate, and just from, I mean, for £3 you get what you're asked, you get what you paid for, but even more in this case, because the disc itself, the UMD, is mint condition and has also the instruction booklet. There's no damage to the box whatsoever. There's not even any scratches to the paper art and the cover itself, which is pretty good. Yes, that's that. Now we're moving on to the PS2 games, which I'd gotten recently from my local Blockbuster, which I'm quite surprised to have found these, which I wouldn't have expected, to be honest with you. But I'll show you them now. So the first one is a game called Drakengard. I heard of it from a friend, and they said it was pretty decent but surprisingly hard. But the moment I seen this in Blockbusters, I looked at the back, it definitely caught my eye, so I decided to buy it. It was only £1, so I thought, why not? Now the thing is that a week after, I come back, look at the back of the store, see the PS2 game's been put in what you would call like a basket bin, just flat out there, and I just happened to come across Drakengard 2. Now I'm guessing whoever had the Drakengard 1, this is just my guess, they must have had the first one and decided if they still have the second one, they might have wanted to complete it first before trading it away. But as I said, even the back of this box caught my attention, and I've had this for a while, even Drakengard 1, and I still haven't played it yet. But good news is, I've got my PlayStation 2 hooked up to the big telly, my big HD telly, and I will manage to get around to playing these sometime. Next on the list is, see, I doubt many people would play this because, I don't know, I guess it's everyone's choice really, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels of the Roses. I played this quite a while, a couple of years back, and obviously it's nothing like the actual card game that people play everywhere, to be honest, and I guess in a way it is quite difficult from the game style it is, because obviously it's nothing to do with the card game at all. You do get cards, you do summon the monsters, but it's not turn-based like your Magic the Gathering or such. They've tried to make it too much, way too different, and I don't really enjoy it. But hey, it's a extra PS2 game to go on the shelf, eh? In good condition as well for £1. Now recently, I got this for absolute nothing, which is pretty awesome because I love the games, and that is the Prince of Persia trilogy, which has all three, the Two Thrones, the Warrior Within, and the Sands of Time. I'm sure, yeah, the box will show you there. I've always liked the Prince of Persia games, even from the very beginning, which used to be for I think it was the Mac, the Apple Mac, and these were the really, really old styled computers. I played one in high school, and oh wow, it was so old. I mean, it was older than DOS from the looks of it, but that was that. But I really liked just the simple puzzle side-scrolling games, just getting trapped in a dungeon. The only thing I didn't enjoy about it was that you looked at the bottom of the screen and it would always remind you that there's a time limit and you have to complete the game in a certain amount of time, or simple as game over. Even if you get to the final dungeon and then you've only got like 5 minutes, those minutes are over, game over, and you have to start all the way back from the beginning, which really, really sucks. Okay. But all in all, I still enjoy it. I mean, I've played the Forgotten Sands, I believe it was called, for the PS3, and it's still a good game. I quite enjoy it. Now, for all those that probably know through my Facebook, I'm a major Tales fan from the Tales series. So we've got things like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Eternia for the PSP, which I've yet to get. But I've recently managed to get a new Tales game, which is awesome. But I believe in a month's time, a couple of weeks at least. Yeah, a couple of weeks. There's supposed to be a new game coming out for the PlayStation 3 called Tales of Graces F. And of course this is PS3 exclusive, which is quite a shame for those that only own the Xbox but also enjoy the Tales series itself. But luckily I have the PS3. I don't have an Xbox anymore, sadly, because it just buggered up on me. And I don't have the money itself right now to get an actual new Xbox console, even though they're quite cheap at the moment compared to what they used to cost, about £300. But you can get a new Xbox Slim for about £130–140. But for right now, I don't have the money, but I will get it in the future. But getting back on track, as I said, I did manage to get a new Tales game, and the ones I'd like to show you the Tales games that I've managed to get so far during the past couple of years, so I thought that might interest you. One of them is Tales of the World Radiant Mythology for the PSP. One of the reasons that I want to get a PSP again, because I found it to be a really good game. It kept its classic style gameplay, its battle system from all the other Tales games, but yeah, I can't really say there's anything different than all the other ones, except that for this type of game, what they've done is they've added characters from the previous Tales games and added them to this. And when you go to a shop or a guild, I think, you can ask them to be on your team, which is pretty cool, but you have to develop a sort of a trust in them before they decide to tag along with you. But yeah, it's a really good game, especially for the PSP. PSPs are great for RPGs. For the Game Boy Advance, there is Tales of Phantasia. I got this from Games World. You'll know it's Adam Bates, possibly Games World Bodmin. I got this from him, exactly mint condition, and one of my greatest finds, to be honest, because even Game Boy Advance games themselves are hard to come by in such pristine condition. Next one is for the Wii, which is good. That is Tales of Symphonia: Dawn of the New World. Now, I don't have the first Tales of Symphonia that came out for the GameCube, but I am in the middle of trying to look for it. I know I will get it eventually, but for now I'll stick with this one, which the artwork on it is great, the voices are amazing, especially the gameplay. It keeps every Tales game keeps the classic, except for Tales of Graces, the new one that comes out. There's something about the battle system they've changed, which I'll need to look into, but I've got plenty of time for that. Next game is my Tales of Vesperia, my all-time favourite Tales game for the Xbox 360. The graphics are amazing for an animated game on a HD quality style. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'll show you a bit of the back there. I mean, I got this, I noticed that it came out for Xbox Shop, where you can now buy your games and just download them online. But for me, I preferred getting games as box form, because for game collectors, you'd rather get them in the box, and I'm sure you'd agree with me. Now, those are the ones I've got for now. Those are the older ones I've got. Now, the latest Tales game I managed to get, which I'm super happy with, is Tales of the Abyss for the 3DS. Now, I played this for the PS2, but obviously it's not a real copy, unfortunately. I'll need to try and get myself a real copy of the PS2 version. But this is an exact rip of the PS2 version, which, to be honest with you, I'll tell you now, I'm not entirely happy with. I mean, I absolutely love all the Tales games, even though it's bad in certain ways, which I'll tell you in a minute. It's still one of the best Tales games I've played, including Tales of Vesperia, as I've said. But the reasons why, I mean, for a marking from out of 10, I'd give it an 8, or even a 7, to be honest with you, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons is because it's an exact rip from the PlayStation 2 version. The graphics is the exact same. There's not even been improved. They're still the typical polygons, or whatever you call them. I might even be wrong in saying that, but the graphics have not changed at all, which is really disappointing. I mean, for a Tales game to be put onto a 3DS, you think they'd improve the graphics for putting 3D effects on it. Oh, but that's another one of the reasons. There's the number one's the graphics. Number two is the 3D. It's absolute shite. I'll tell you that now. When you're looking at, even for me, I'm usually not bothered by the 3D effect. I mean, when I first played Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, I played it from the beginning to the end without turning off the 3D, and I did not get a headache from the 3D effect, as some people seem to do. But for playing Tales of the Abyss on the 3D effect, even I get a headache from it. The graphics included with the 3D, it looks horrible. I mean, for those who own the Tales of the Abyss game, I'm sure you can understand. Well, for those who have the 3D version, it looks absolutely horrendous. I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the game, but they could have done so much to make the game presentable, you could say, to a next gen console, especially for a portable. The third one I'd say is because I don't believe Tales belongs on a handheld. Well, not the 3DS, because even though it's widescreen, I don't think that it really should belong there. I mean, I've played Tales of the Abyss, as I've said, on the PS2. The backgrounds are pretty awesome, and to be honest, the graphics on the PS2 on a regular sized TV are far better than the 3DS version. I'll tell you that now, because obviously the graphics are a bit more stretched. It's a bigger screen, more colours, and it's free to do. Spread more of its graphic. I'm not really sure how to say it, but I'm sure you'd understand what I meant. Tales games deserve to be on a bigger TV, except for Tales of the World, as I mentioned before. That has an excuse because the screen's much bigger and it's easier to understand and read. But for Tales of the Abyss, it's far too small. But I've seen, obviously the latest thing is the Nintendo DSi XL. That'll definitely show a major improvement to the Tales of the Abyss, and that'll most likely just completely rid me of my disappointment for it. Because I mean, I've seen the pictures and the videos of the size of the screen. It's huge. I'm absolutely amazed by the size of it. I mean, I'm not sure what the pricing is of it yet, but obviously I won't get it just yet. I'll wait till it goes down in price. But wow, the size is amazing. But moving on, that actually went on for a while, but you can kind of tell that I enjoy Tales games because I have something to complain about in quite good detail. Hey. Give me a second. I cannot feel my leg because it's dead. Ow. Right, now, one of the other major games I'm a complete fan of is Kingdom Hearts. There are mixed opinions about it. I mean, there's so many that love it, so many that hate it, but for me, I just outright love the Kingdom Hearts games. It's done by Disney and Square Enix, so you've got a mixture of Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters, but to be honest, from what they've done so far, all the worlds have been Disneyed. There's no Square Enix or Final Fantasy characters Final Fantasy worlds that have been added to the game. So hopefully something like when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, that's something they'd consider. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because the games that I've got so far is Kingdom Hearts Recoded for the Nintendo DS, right? I've got Kingdom Hearts, the original, for the PlayStation 2. I don't like the box, I preferred the original shiny one, but it's hard to find in good condition. And the latest one that I managed to get, when it was first released of course, was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and as you can tell this is the limited edition. But the reason I talk about this is because next Friday, of course, the all new Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance is released in Europe, or sorry, I don't know, it's the UK over here, I guess. Excuse me. And from playing the demo on the 3DS, the 3D effects are, oh Christ, the 3D effects are amazing. The graphics, like PS2, you can see a great 3D effect on them. Sorry, that came out completely wrong. The PS2 doesn't have 3D effect, but the graphics for the Kingdom Hearts 3D are actually amazing. It's easy to see on the widescreen, and well, you'd be better off checking on YouTube, or if you have a 3DS yourself, you're better off just downloading it and trying it for yourself. Now, I hope to get that. Well, I know I'm getting it, but it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I mean, only 7 days now until it comes out, and I don't know if I'll get it on the day of release. It depends on if it's shipped here early. I'm getting it from Amazon.co.uk, So fingers crossed that I do get it on the day of release and not have to wait the full weekend until I actually get it. That would be disappointing. Now, the good thing is now I can show you the best thing that I've managed to get for these past couple of weeks. And I did mention that I think it was on my last video or the one before that I got a email from Nintendo to say that I had won one of the limited edition Nintendo 3DS consoles. Now, just a few weeks ago, someone knocked on the door, postman, had signed for it, and of course what I happened to see was a box, opened it up and a 3DS showed up. Now, yes, I did say I was going to keep it in the box and I wasn't going to touch it, but I always take extreme care of my games so they're never damaged or scratched in any way. So yes, I am playing my 3DS because, well, this 3DS because I don't have another one. And there's nothing bad's happened to it. I don't ever plan on selling it anyway. Because there's only like 1,000 of these sold in the UK. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this. Now I'll show you, I've got it out the box of course because I've been playing it. I've been playing Tales of the Abyss on it. And I'll show you now the console itself. So yeah, that's pretty smart. There are some people that the peach one looked pretty cool because of the detail, even though it's pink. I looked at the Toad one; it was pretty cool, but a lot of people have given negative feedback about the Toad one. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'll need to check. But I think I made the right choice. I've always been a Mario fan, but as you can see, if you look on the inside, it just looks like the red 3DS that you'd buy. And at the bottom, see what the red there. But of course it's all to do with the front, isn't it? But yeah, I'm really happy that I got this for absolutely nothing. I mean, I won it, which is amazing for me. The last thing I ever won, which is kind of sad, is a pot noodle fork. I don't know if you'd ever remember that, but that got binned because it didn't work anymore. But it was pretty fun to use. Anyway, next, obviously we've done the games, but as some people like to look at the anime things that I managed to find, I'll show you them as well. Now this one, in Edinburgh with my old man, went into, I believe it was HMV, went upstairs, looked at all the anime DVDs, and I found this, and it was one of them I definitely wanted, and he just said he'd get it for me, which was pretty awesome. Thanks, Dad. And that is D. Greyman. Now, from what I've noticed, it says complete season 1 and 2, 51 episodes. Now this came out quite a couple of years back. Now there's one major problem I have with it. This on shops online say it's the complete edition. That is completely wrong. There is 103 episodes of D. Greyman, and they're only brought out 51. And from what I looked at online, they don't plan on bringing out the rest, which is bloody pointless. What's the point of bringing out half the episodes and not bother with the rest? I mean, you look on the final episode on the DVD box set and you just think, oh, I want to see the next one. And they suddenly say, oh, we're not going to bring out the next, well, it's 51, so they're not going to bring out the next 52 episodes for you. I mean, come on. If you're going to bring out then a DVD box set of one anime, you should be able to bring out the rest of the bloody episodes for it. I mean, for this 51 episodes, you get to the end, you think, oh, what's going to happen next? But if you're like some people who don't have internet or don't have the internet connection speed to download anime, you're not going to get to see the rest of the episodes, which is really disappointing for them. But I had to download the rest of the episodes, so at least I'm lucky, you could say, that I can watch the rest of them. But for those that bought it and can't get the rest, even I feel sorry for you, man, because you're getting ripped off. But that's that. I can't really complain much more about it. But moving on, the rest are manga, which I managed to get. In Edinburgh I got this in Waterstones, which looked like a bloody library, just because it's old style walls and staircase. But the first manga I bought was one called Bunny Drop. I'm sure people who watched the later animes know about Bunny Drop, because, well, in Japanese it's called Usagi Drop. There's not really a lot I can say about it. You'd most likely best read it online or even watch it, and you'd understand it is a great anime and manga series. Next one on the list is Kanagi Crazy Shrine Maidens. This came out quite a few years back in Japan, obviously, so when I downloaded it and watched it, I thought it was really funny and quite serious at some points. Even at this point, it does look funny at some pages, but then it does get serious. So there's a lot of ups and downs. Next one, these ones I got recently at, oh no, actually, there's one hiding here. One called Durr. Seriously, that's what it's called. It's called Durr. But I don't know if you can see it from there. The Japan call it Durarara. I watched a couple of episodes in this when I downloaded it, and I thought it was pretty good. But still, what a name! What a bloody name! That's when it just shows people are running out of names to give titles for. But the ones I got recently is one called Sumomomo Momomo. Even that's a fucked up name. I managed to get these from Edinburgh as well, in a place called Forbidden Planet. Now, for those who love anime in the UK, they'll know what Forbidden Planet is. Now, I got to actually get, they had a deal, buy two get one free. So what I got volume 1, 2 and 3 of the manga. I haven't read them yet, but I've downloaded the anime and watched that, and it is really funny. I'll get round to reading these sometime soon. But, oh, there's one last thing I can show you before it's time to go. I found these at the Forbidden Planet as well. They were sitting at the counter. Actually, this was sitting at the counter, I don't have more than one. It was to do with One Piece, and obviously it was imported from Japan because it was all Japanese writing. It didn't say what it was, even I wasn't sure what it was until I actually opened it up. It was One Piece, which I absolutely love watching, so I thought, well, I might as well just get a little trinket or something to take with me. And what I managed to get was, I found it was a fridge magnet. And I do have a mini fridge in my room, but because it sits right beside the TV, there's no point in putting it there on the fridge because you can't see it. But for those who watch One Piece, it was a fridge magnet of Nami. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And I thought it actually came in 2 little packets, because the other packet, which I thought was awesome, was little wanted posters. So what you do is you get that, put it on the fridge, then you stick the character on top, so it looks like the character's wanted. I thought it was pretty awesome. That was pretty cool. Anyway guys, that's my latest video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I've definitely enjoyed telling you about it and showing you what I've managed to get. Now, I have got some Tales games on the way from Bodman. He's managed to import some Japanese Tales games, even though I've said this to people, even if I can't read it, that doesn't stop me from enjoying it, because the latest Tales game so far was Tales of Innocence R for the PlayStation Vita. I can get that imported because I don't think it's ever going to come out over here. I'm not sure, I might be wrong, it might come out over here in the future. But I am planning on getting every single Tales game that's been released. All the originals, all the spin-offs, the manga, quite a lot of merchandise as well. That'll just go in one big corner. But until then, I'll just have to be patient. But as I said, I do enjoy even Japanese games. I mean, I downloaded Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Plus quite a while back, and I played the game so much that I knew exactly what I was doing to complete it. So what I've done, what I did for the parts I didn't understand, because in Final Mix there was extra scenes, I looked on game FAQs or game facts to find out what I had to do, but I managed to get by it pretty easily without it, because Kingdom Hearts is a pretty straightforward game. You know what you're doing from the start. But yeah, anyway guys, sorry I got off a bit off track there, making the video longer. But anyway, thanks for watching, and look forward to the latest one, because I will get a few more things. And anyway, thanks for watching again, sorry, and I'll see you around. See ya.